State. They're going to have in the backcourt Drew Cobb, Colin Slater, and Jadon Jones. Their front court, Romel Mansell and Jordan Roberts. And it's Long Beach State who wins the opening tip. For Westcliff, Joshua Jones, Joshua Harrison, Adolfo Thomas, Long Beach Poly grad, Abdullah, and Marius Ntwari, their starting five. And Long Beach State gets on the board to get things started with Romel Mansell. They're up 2-0 as Westcliff has the ball for the first time.
Well, I like that first possession offensively. The objective tonight for the Beach, play hard, get the rust off. They haven't played since December 12th, so they're going to be able to work on offensive and defensive principles that they've been practicing in that pause.
There's Marius Ntwari with the answer to tie the game. And Westcliff's had their own COVID issues. They haven't played since December 16th. Mansell looking underneath, going up with two hands, and that ball gets jammed in between the backboard and the rim. And he's going to the line to shoot two.
Well, I really like the aggressiveness of Mansell because tonight, Jason, he's got to be a center. And what I mean by that, you know, he's got to take out his lunch pail and his hard hat because he's got a 7-footer tonight with Ntwari. But tomorrow night when they go to Pauley Pavilion, he'll also have another 7-footer. So it's like jumping in a pool, and it's the deep end. You know, you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. I think this young man is ready to swim. He needs to have 2 big games in a row.
You mentioned Pauley Pavilion. It's a rare season where Long Beach State is going to get a chance to play UCLA twice. As Mansell misses the first, makes the second, so he splits the trip. Long Beach State back on top. But now these teams just kind of scrambling to schedule games. So important that they stay sharp despite all the COVID issues. And so Long Beach State going to play at Pauley tomorrow at 4:30. Meanwhile, beautiful pass, but a miss underneath by Abdullah. And Long Beach State back the other way. Cobb spins off the window, no good. Tip back Roberts, that doesn't fall, and Westcliff with a basketball. So yeah, Long Beach State gave UCLA a pretty good battle in Pauley back in November. Meanwhile, Roberts gets poked in the eye. They blow a whistle here, but they gave UCLA a really good battle back in November. Ended up losing by 21, but it was a close game at halftime. They'll play UCLA, the number 5 ranked team in the nation, tomorrow at 4:30.
Well, as a coach, what you want is sustainability and you want consistency, and you said it. UCLA, they play them even in the first half. They lose by 21. SC, probably the best first half they had played. They end up losing by 11. So this team has got to put consistency together and play a full 40 minutes.
Abubakar Traore into the game for the first time for Long Beach State as Jordan Roberts goes to the bench. Mansell trying to make something happen inside, and he's going to get to the line for a second time.
Well, I like the way, again, he's come out aggressive, but, you know, now's the time. He's got to play through contact. And great, he drew the 2 free throws, but I want 3-point plays. He's got to start using his physicality and covet contact and then play through it instead of trying to lean and convert away from the contact.
Coach, you noticed it before the game. Mansell rocking a new haircut.
Yeah, I said he was trying to look a little bit like Slater. Now he's looking like a younger version of the coach Dave Miller. I don't
still
know
got more hair. He's still got more hair. Mansell good on the first free throw, so the Beach up 4-2. And the second one coming. It's up, and it is good. Mansell perfect on this trip, now 3 of 4 from the line. Came into this game just 33% from the free throw line.
So you see they're in there 1-2, 1-1, full court pressure. Now you got to sprint back, and again, great job by Westcliff to be able to attack it. But one of my keys for Long Beach, I want to see them keep Westcliff under 60 points this evening. That's a big goal, and there you see the shot by Slater. He's got to be more a 2-guard tonight because with Joel Murray being out with the pause and not being in to start, so Cobb is going to, you know, sort of run the ship. He's the glue guy. Slater, I want him, you know, to be more off ball and to really pick up his scoring.
Joshua Jones and then Colin Slater trading buckets on back-to-back possessions there as we see a whistle away from the basketball. And this one going against Long Beach State. Fouls on Abubakar Traore. The freshman has had a nice year and a lot of highlight reel plays. He had a big game the last time Long Beach State played on this floor, setting a freshman record. He just became the 6th player in the 72-year history of the program to grab 20 rebounds in a game.
Well, he should. He's the best athlete on this team. He's got a huge ceiling.
Drew Cobb out to Mansell.
I like the patience by Mansell. Now get it to Cobb and organize. Now you're going to see a little set here that they're going to run. And now they get some half-court execution into play.
Jones bounces to Traore. Shot clock into single digits, 5 to shoot. Slater approaches, gets a screen for Mansell. He'll rise, deep two, it's good. Colin Slater, 2 straight buckets, and the Beach up by 5, almost 3 minutes into this one.
Well, I love him in transition. I think he's a sneaky finisher inside, and Slater very good, just being able to rise up and knock that shot down.
Here's Adolfo Thomas out of Long Beach Poly High School with a basketball. Turnaround jumper, good off the front of the rim, and then bounced in for him, and he's fired up.
Well, I remember him playing at Poly, and he's really grown as a player. He's had to play multiple plays of a game. When neither team knows what either one is going to do, this was just put together. So, again, they've had quizzes during that pause. Now today's a nice little test to see where they're at and what they need to improve.
Full court pressure from Long Beach State forces a turnover, so ball back to the Beach. They're up 11 to 6, and the inbounds goes to Drew Cobb. Cobb out to Mansell, fires to Slater, thought about a 3, now he'll rise, and it's in and out. Traore with a rebound, falls to the floor, no whistle there, and now a jump ball called. So the ball is going to go back to Westcliff.
So here's my school of thumb. He fell down, that's a travel. So the call is either a foul or it's a travel, because once you lose your footing, you've picked up a pivot foot, whichever one that may have been. So we'll just play on.
Figured it would be one of the two, but that wasn't the case. Our referees for this game, Frank Harvey, Michael Rapp, and Kevin Smith. Here's a short jumper from Joshua Harrison, the Las Cruces, New Mexico native out of Cerritos College, knocks it down.
Well, he's an older guy in this team, sort of plays with the chip on his shoulder, and there's a little bit of awkwardness to his game. I call it that old man's game. And there you see a nice 3 by Jaden Jones, and this is going to be huge for him tonight to get into a rhythm. You know, I talked to him before the game. I said, you remember Earth, Wind, and Fire? He said, yeah, September. I said, yeah, get some rhythm like that, and let's hear some net noise.
Some net noise right there from Joshua Harrison on back-to-back possessions. Warriors hanging tough here early. It's 14 to 10.
They're too easy on the other end. Long Beach State has got to really cinch up their defense. They've got to wall off the paint, make them shoot tough 2s over high hands.
They haven't even played 5 minutes. Pretty high-scoring game so far. Cobb thought about a 3. Now driving with the left hand, and whoa, almost too many steps there. Traore in the paint, off the glass, can't get it to fall. Rebound to Abdullah.
Yeah, I would have liked Abakar to not go away. He's so athletic, go up and over.
Here's a deep 3 on the way, and he clanks it off to the right. Harrison, heat check there for him. Now pass up the floor to Traore, saves it to Jones. Jones for 3, too strong. A rebound to Joshua Jones. Gets it up ahead to Thomas. And Westcliff will slow things down. 5 minutes gone by, Beach up by 4.
Good job by Long Beach getting back, getting turned, and now into their man-to-man defense.
Here's Greg Walter Jr., who touches for the first time. Back over to Thomas. Thomas, he'll rise over Mansell, and that one misses everything. And Mansell inside the Walter Pyramid. Long Beach State, a 14 to 10 lead over Westcliff. As the Beach with the basketball. Drew Cobb, Jadon Jones, Colin Slater, Abubakar Traore, and Romel Mansell out on the floor. Mansell up for Traore, who finishes with 2.
And that's what this game is good for in terms of practices. That's a great set. Munson drew up, executed well. Mansell with the perfect pass, on time, on target for the emphatic finish.
And Traore, he is going to have a lot of airtime in the season-ending highlight reel for this team. Seen a lot of that this year from the freshman. Warriors trying to answer. Thomas dishes off, and Twari, short jumper, good. And Westcliff continuing to answer here. They're shooting at 60%, 6 out of 10 to start.
I'll tell you, really nice shot by Twari for being, you know, say he's 7 foot. To me, he looks about 6'11", maybe 6'10", but really nice soft touch, good hands, good feet. And
nice job by Twari on the other end, defensively staying with Mansell and forcing Mansell into a travel.
This is his first collegiate season of basketball. I mean, he's played basketball, obviously, before, but he's originally from Rwanda in Africa and grew up playing soccer, so hence the good feet that you see on both ends of the floor.
Joshua Jones against Drew Cobb here on the other end. Here's Cedric Sobers into the game for the first time. Gets it off to Greg Walter Jr. Back to Sobers, 3 on the way, off the back of the rim. And Traore beats out Cobb for the rebound. Beach up 4 with a basketball. Slater driving into the paint and loses it Out of bounds, last touch by Westcliff. So it stays with the Beach, and now Joel Murray and Joe Hampton come into the game for Long Beach State, their first appearances, as Cobb and Mansell go to the bench. Now Slater will inbound here, and Hampton with his first touch. And Tuari guards him. Now Slater, he lobs, that was a shot. Hampton's got the offensive rebound. Now Murray, his first touch. Hampton thinking about a three against Tuari. Now trying to make a move on him. Deep two. Well short. Murray offensive rebound, no. Then Traore the rebound, and he gets the N1 opportunity.
But just like the way, you have a four-man in this league, he's really a nightmare of a matchup, and he's got that motor that it ticks, and he's always moving, slashing with and without the basketball. But it's good to see Joe Hampton. We talked about this Long Beach State team not playing from the 12th there, as you see in there. Traore just working on the glass, but Joe Hampton hasn't played in over a month, so there's a lot of rust there. And again, this game, the UCLA game tomorrow night in Pauley Pavilion, this is going to be huge for him for not only conditioning, but just to get a little bit of rhythm and flow to his game.
Traore hits the free throw, so completes the three-point play. He's struggled at the line this year, just 5 out of 16 coming in, but hey, a lot of time off to work on free throw shooting over the last month. Seen Mansell and now Traore, guys who have struggled at the line, both look pretty sharp in this one. 19-12, Beach up 7, their largest lead here early in this game. And Westcliff looking for another answer. It's Joshua Harrison. Gets a screen, dribbles with the left hand, fires outside. Open three on the way. No good from Cedric Sobers. And then a whistle and a foul going against Abdullah going against Westcliff. Fourth team foul on the Warriors. And we get some more subs here for Long Beach State as see Tobias Rodegaard come into the game for the first time, the freshman from Norway.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him, see how much shooting he's been able to do with this pause, because he's a very good catch and shoot guy. I want to see the ball go through the net, give him some confidence as well.
Hampton holding at the elbow, guarded by Tuari, gets it back out to Slater. 15 to shoot. Hampton driving on Tuari, shot no good, rebound to Tuari, and he's looked pretty good defensively early on for this Warrior squad. Beach up by 7. Both teams shooting 50% from the floor, but Westcliff 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. Jones pulls up for 2 off the front of the rim, and Rodegaard tips the rebound over to Murray. He jogs it up. Murray looking to drive, and Sobers stays with him the whole time. Now Rodegaard loses it, able to throw it off Tuari, but Tuari possesses, and Westcliff now looking to push. Offensive on Westcliff.
Well, I think when you look at them, Jason, they're a lot of guys that have bounced around. They're looking for a home. There's a mix of junior college players, transfers, a couple freshmen, but this is their maiden voyage. This is their first year that they're certified in that conference, the Cal Pac, to be able to compete and to play for a championship.
NAIA school located in Irvine. They played Cal Poly earlier this year, a Big West school, up in San Luis Obispo, and played them pretty close as we see Joe Hampton come up with his first basket. But they were down just 6 at halftime against Cal Poly, ended up losing by 33, but that's kind of what we see in these games sometimes. But impressive for the Warriors to stay close against a Big West opponent. Right now, the Beach up by 9. Here's Tuari underneath. He has his shot blocked, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. I like Tuari. He's fun to watch play.
He certainly is. Again, I'll go back to Long Beach State. They've got to do a better job of when they draw an extra defender, then somebody's got to help the helper. The defense has to be a little bit more proactive for me. I liked it initially, but there can't be a lull in defense. You can take a break. When somebody says you never rest in basketball, well, you can never rest on defense. Offense, you can rest on the backside if there's a pick and roll on the right side and you get a second to get your breath. But defensively, I want to see them, turn up the volume and be a little bit more proactive, and they dictate what Westcliff is going to do on this end of the floor.
Both free throws good, and that ends a scoring drought for Westcliff of over 3 minutes. No field goals now for them in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Slater full head of steam into the front court. There's Rodegaard, flips to Slater. Now Eddie Scott, and he travels. Eddie Scott's first touch is a turnover.
Well, Eddie Scott is a transfer from Penn. We talked about it a couple games ago before the pause. He graduated 4 years, has an Ivy League education. You know, just, again, getting the rust off. I think it's really important for Long Beach State that they know their roles. I know they've been given roles. Hopefully they've digested it, and now play your role. Do what you do as a part of the pieces of the 5 that are out there.
Abdullah unable to finish underneath. Long Beach State back the other way. Scott to Rodegaard, back to Scott. Now Murray fires up, deep 3, line drive shot, good.
And I like that. That starts with Rodegaard. What did I say? Catch and shoot. He could have pulled the trigger. He took it from the right side to top and got a great open look on the backside for a teammate.
10-point lead for Long Beach State, their largest of the game. That shot doesn't go. Ball tipped around, and Twari able to grab it and finish.
Memo to Long Beach, if you can get it to him, you're not going to out-jump the 6'11" Natwari. You've got to hit him, or you've got to root him underneath the basket. Too easy. He's too big, and he's too agile.
Yeah, he looked a foot taller than everybody out on the floor, and that play is Hampton. Gets fouled by Natwari, finishes, he'll go to the line. Chance at a 3-point play for Hampton, who's got 4 points early on.
Well, that's what I like about Hampton. I mean, he's great either on that was from the left elbow. He's been on the right elbow, but he can play make out of that, and he's got such a good frame that he can absorb the contact. Sort of like when I was talking about Mansell. You know, covet contact and play through it there. That was just a bull in a china shop, and he was determined to get to the hole and draw the foul.
Hampton free throw is good. And that finishes the 3-point play. Beach up by 11, 27-16. Spreading the wealth offensively. Jones, Mansell, Traore all have 5. Hampton just joined him with 5, leading away. Ball loose underneath, picked up by Westcliff, and Abdullah able to put it in.
And that's bad defense by Joe Hampton. Joe Hampton can't let that baseline dribble drive go as we see Slater scoring the other end baseline. You've got to square up and make that player, pin him to the sideline. You can't give him that easy drive baseline. And he dished it off. You know, Murray's only been back from 2 days from the health and safety protocol, and that's probably a good reason why he didn't start. And we had Cobb and Slater in there in the backcourt because Drew had been coming off the bench. But I just like the speed and the pace that Murray plays, and he just makes winning plays. He's a pleasure to watch out there, the little things that don't show up on a stat sheet. Bad defense right there.
Jones driving, dishes off to Adelpho. Thomas is able to put in the short shot.
And the one thing I wanted the Beach to work on before the pause was their individual defense, staying between their man and the basket on this end of the floor.
Hampton with a pretty pass, but Murray unable to finish on the reverse. Now Westcliff, chance to gain some momentum, and a foul called. Foul going against Romel Mansell, or excuse me, Tobias Rodegaard.
So, Jason, when you look at it, Jordan Reed's 6 foot, Rodegaard's much, much bigger. So what do? You don't get on him in an arm's distance. You gap him a little bit more. You're tall enough to contest if he would have pulled up. But if you're going to be out there nose to nose, he's going to beat you 9 times out of 10 with the drive. He's just quicker.
Rodegaard comes off. Jordan Roberts is in. Dangerous inbounds pass there tipped, but Westcliff able to maintain possession. 29-20 Long Beach State. 8:45 to play first half. In the paint, shot up there from Abdullah, no good. And then a travel going against Long Beach State.
Well, that's very similar to the start of the game on the other end when we talked about it. It's either a foul or a travel. You know, you look out there, you can see guys huffing and puffing. You know, and this is good to get that burn in your lungs. You know, I remember when I was in the NBA and we would go play the Denver Nuggets. We would try and get there a day or two early and have full practices, because when you get to that altitude, or these guys that haven't played in almost a month, it's good to feel that burn and to get a good sweat. But right now, a couple are huffing and puffing defensively.
There's an and one for Westcliff. Greg Walter Jr. puts it in. He's going to go to the line. For Long Beach State, they're going 0 to 60 quickly. They've got this one after almost a month off. They've got UCLA tomorrow, and then the plan is, knock on wood, Big West play starts on Saturdays. Long Beach State is hosting Hawaii. That game actually moved from 6 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon here inside the Walter Pyramid.
Well, what's crazy, when you're a senior, you want those games to come fast and furious. I mean, think of these guys. How many people get a second chance in life? Not many. So these seniors were able to come back for another senior year because of that COVID year. And think about it. Munson's at Pauley Pavilion. What do you think he's telling the seniors that first time around? Guys, you're never going to have a chance to play in Pauley Pavilion ever again. Who would think that they end the non-conference back in Pauley Pavilion?
Westcliff with a steal. They've got it back and a chance to gain on this momentum they've built, down by only 6 points. Well, yeah, don't forget that first game at Pauley, Joel Murray and Colin Slater each had career nights, and really looking forward to seeing what they were able to do against the Bruins tomorrow.
Jason, I will never forget that. I mean, you talk about two guys coming into Pauley Pavilion and just lighting it up. One had 29, one had 30. They combined for 59 points in what I think is one of the best venues ever in college basketball.
And Long Beach State in that game was only down by 3 at halftime. It was 48-45. Lost a little bit of steam in the second half. I think they just ran out of gas and ended up losing 100-79. Here's Roberts from the free throw line. No good. Rebound in Tuardi. And then admission tonight inside the Walter Pyramid. And some lucky fans just got free pizza as well during the break. Long Beach State up by 6 with the basketball. Cobb trying to make something happen. Double teamed, he throws it away. Up the floor comes Joshua Jones all the way to the basket. Can't finish with the left hand, but then Roberts with the loose ball, he grabs it, he's standing out of bounds, so Westcliff keeps it 24 to shoot.
And those were the turnovers that I was talking about. If you're going to drive baseline, you got to have an open seam to be able to go up and finish, or maybe an up and under, or look for that opposite baseline corner. But right now, that's just a turnover. He dribbled, there were 2 guarding him plus a baseline, 3 defenders.
Jones knocks down the 3, first of the game for Westcliff, and all of a sudden, they're back within 3. Here's Murray going against a double team, and he gets fouled. And some frustration on the Westcliff bench there as their first-year head coach, Jared Cook, has his hands thrown high into the air. He does not think that Joel Murray deserved the whistle there.
Well, back on another end with Joshua Jones, a kid from Moreno Valley, has some junior college experience under his belt, but he's very good. That was a nice rhythm shot. He had really good form. You saw that shooting arm with the elbow underneath. They've got to make sure there's an awareness and not let him get started.
And, Coach, you can certainly understand the frustration coming from Jared Cook right now. His team's on an 8-0 run. They've made 5 of their last 7. Long Beach State's been a little bit careless with the basketball. 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes. And then you get the whistle there. You don't agree. And all of a sudden, that breaks the 8-0 run as Murray knocks down the first free throw.
A memo to the coach. Just remember, you're in the pyramid at Long Beach State. We've all had those woes, trust me.
First year as the head coach of this Westcliff program. He was the associate head coach before. It's his first year as a head coach at any level.
Well, where I remember him from, he played at Sarah High School under the late, great Dwan Hurt, and then he played at Cypress College. Got a scholarship to play at an NAIA school in Nebraska, and he went to the tournament his junior and senior years, but where he's been really good at is working with Rico Hines, Earl Watson, John Lucas. Very good at player development. He had a lot to do with Kenyon Martin Jr. in his pre-draft, so I know he can teach the game working with those 3 guys.
5 on the shot clock for Westcliff. Under the basket, Sobers kicks it out. 3 on the way from Jones, and he knocks down 2 in a row. And the Warriors down by just 2.
Well, you know, good players hit open shots.
Oh, man, Sell with a 2-hand stuff on the other end, and it's 33-29 Long Beach State.
He needs to start playing like everybody thinks he can. He's got all the ingredients to be an all-league player in the Big West. He just needs rep and time and then productivity / with efficiency.
Here's Jones. He puts one up off the window, too strong. Slater flies for the rebound. Beach running. Jones bounces down to Mansell. To a cutting Jones, who lays it in with the left hand. Pretty play.
Big time 2-man game. That's the poise and the confidence that I'm talking about. Mansell, the minute he caught it, he put his top chin on that top shoulder, and he could see 3/4 of the court, and it was a great cut by Jadon Jones.
35-29, Long Beach State. High-scoring first half inside the pyramid. Abdullah back to Jones, 10 to shoot. Jones holding, picked up by Mansell. Over to Sobers, he drives. Looking for help, out to Jones, 1 to shoot, fires up a 3, too strong, and Tuarte keeps the loose ball alive, but Cobb's got it. And Long Beach State running again.
It wasn't pretty, but that was a good defensive possession. And again, you got to finish down there, and there wasn't enough contact for a foul. Go up and put the ball in the hole.
Warriors have it back. Again, Westcliff played Cal Poly tough earlier this year, playing Long Beach State tough in the first half. Sobers has his shot blocked by Mansell. Second block for Rommel. Now he's got it up the floor to Jordan Roberts. Slater, NBA 3 on the way. Nothing but net for Colin Slater.
Like the energy, this team gets energized when they defend and they rebound and they're able to push the pace. This team is fatigued right now. Obviously, they haven't played a real game, and nothing beats game repetition. They got to play through this. This is where you don't get better when you're fresh. You get better mentally with decision making, turnovers, defensive assignments when you're fatigued.
Slater's got a game-high 9 on 4 of 6, and then he's fouled at midcourt after Long Beach State forces a turnover. Another play there, Coach. We see a guy fall over. No foul, no travel, just play on.
Yeah. You know, I remember a long time early in my coaching career, a head coach once told the team, you know, fatigue makes cowards of us all. You know, you have to fight through fatigue. You can't make those silly fouls. You can't use it as an excuse not to block out. You got to have that hit-first mentality. So I like the way Coach Munson has guys in there, and he's letting them play winded, because that's the only way you're going to get your win back.
Slater at the line, Beach in the bonus. He's shooting 1 and 1 right here. First free throw from Colin up, and it's good. He'll get another.
You know, Slater does so many things for this team, offensively and defensively. Really good at being able to hit timely big shots, as we saw him do that. You see right there, Roberts, patient, just makes that extra pass up top. Feet were set, locked, loaded, net noise.
We know Slater, when he gets confident, when he gets hot, he'll shoot it from anywhere. And again, excited to see him return to Poly, where he couldn't miss back in early November. Beach up by 11, matching their largest lead. Westcliff trying to answer before the end of the half. A jumper there, no good from Walter Jr. Beach with a basketball. They're on a 9-0 run over the last 2:14.
And that's because their defense has been energized on the other end.
Slater unable to hit that one with a rebound out to Cobb.
Playing with a little bit more urgency, and again, starting on the other end of the floor. I like how they're playing hard, smart, and together.
10 to shoot for Long Beach State. Slater holds to Cobb. Screen from Roberts, 5 on the shot clock. Down low for J-Rob, and he hesitated slightly, able to finish underneath.
Boy, I like the poise. You know, Cobb could have easily turned that over, but he was able to find a man. I want J-Rob to be more aggressive. That's what I've liked this year about him. Aggressive on the offensive end, continue to rebound on both ends of the floor for the Beach.
Now it's an 11-0 run for Long Beach State. Westcliff trying to snap a scoring drought of over 3 minutes. Wish you a Happy New Year. Back on the first when the Long Beach State women played, but this is the first men's game of 2022, so Happy New Year to everybody out there joining us. As the first free throw from Wedlow is good, and that makes it a 12-point game. Wedlow trying to make it a perfect trip, and he does. So 42-31, Beach on top with 3:30 to play here in the first half. Traore back into the game during that timeout for Long Beach State. Colin Slater holds. He leads all scorers with 11. Traore against Tuarte. Out to Cobb. Cobb pulls up inside the free throw line. Can't get it to fall. Traore keeping it alive. He's got it.
But he's like a human pogo stick just keeping the ball. He wasn't sure in this possession that it was so organized what to do, but he can do that. 2 offensive rebounds in 1 possession.
Traore, I think he's going to make some noise in conference play when Long Beach State begins Big West play Saturday against Hawaii. Roberts, 3, too strong, and the rebound goes to Joshua Harrison.
With Traore, I want to see him make a post move. You know, a quick beats big. He hit a big on him, but just quick. A little ball fake baseline, go middle, or, you know, ball fake top, drop step.
R.J. Roden into the game for the Beach as a pass goes to a falling player as Nolan Wedlow was falling to the floor in front of the Beach bench as that pass sailed by him. So a turnover for Westcliff. That's their 9th of the game. Long Beach State's scored 8 points off Westcliff turnovers.
Well, what I wanted to see, you know, even before the pause, after that USC game, the defense needs to get better. Individual defense, help the helper, you know, proactivity, just getting multiple stops.
Roberts throws one that gets deflected out of bounds. That was intended for A.J. Neal, who is in for the first time.
And on this end, this is a team with their length and athleticism. Long Beach should grab you, you know, 12, 13, 14 offensive rebounds a night, you know, but it takes effort. It takes energy, focus, and toughness, and it's got to be a habit.
Deep 2 for J-Rob. He knocks it down. His second basket, he's got 4. Beach back up by 13. Westcliff trying to answer. Harrison's shot. Whoa, rejected way out of bounds by Traore.
But we talked about some of the deficiencies of the Long Beach State defense, but this is a positive when you've got a dribble drive, you're off ball, and now you're able to come up there. Now, the one thing I would like him to do is to tip it and play, not even grab it. That's hard to grab it. Hey, Jason, you've been on a couple step ladders, maybe putting a star on top of a Christmas tree, but just try and swat it to a teammate. That's hard to grab it, man, when you're moving and grooving.
You know, if there's one guy who could do it, though, I feel like it'd be Traore.
No doubt about it.
Slater out to Neal. Back to Slater. Open look. 3 from the corner. Yes, again. Colin Slater with 14. 2 out of 5 from beyond the arc.
You get the feel he's just getting warmed up for Pauley Pavilion.
And now an offensive foul against Westcliff going against Joshua Jones.
You know, we can give all the applaud and the credit to Slater, but you got to credit his teammate. You know, they're running the floor, they're moving the ball, and I always say this, if you pass the ball unselfishly, it's going to find the open shot.
Yeah, his teammates have found him in some good spots to take some threes so far in this one.
Well, listen, him and Murray don't do what they did at Pauley Pavilion unless they're feeding him. We always say, go to the well till it dries up and then dig another well.
Off the dribble this time, Slater unable to hit. Westcliff the rebound. And Westcliff 0 for their last 6. No points in over 2 minutes. Beach, they've built a 15-point lead. That should end it. A layup right there from Greg Walter Jr. and a nice find from Jordan Reed. Now 46-33 as Long Beach State tries to put up 50 in this first half. It would put them on pace for 100 points. They scored 102 in their last home game against Bethesda. Meanwhile, a miss on that end, and Reed coming back the other way. Lost the basketball, gets it back. Over to Wedlow. Cross court, he finds Walter.
Like the closeout by Abubakar. Was there on the catch, was squared up. Now he's in help side.
3 on the way. Jones didn't hit. He's the only Westcliff player with a 3. He's hit 2 in this game.
Long Beach State got the rebound, but I didn't see one guy go to block out. I think basketball was a game of habits, and in games that are going to be one-possession games and close, it's not the block out at the end of the game that loses.
All right, Beach with the basketball, 13-second differential. A.J. Neal dribbles it up high. Now to Slater, 10 to shoot. Shot clock down to 7. Roberts holds. 4, he'll rise. It's good. Jordan Roberts makes it 48-33. 12 seconds to get a shot off for Westcliff, a dark shot clock. Harrison into the front court, 5 seconds left. And he's fouled by Roberts up high.
Fatigue foul. You just, you know, what's he going to do that far away? You know, I'll give him that shot any day of the week if he's going to fire it up. You just want to keep him in front, not let his shoulders get by your shoulders, because then you've put, it's a number situation, right? You know, one less person to defend, and just a silly fatigue foul.
For what it's worth, Long Beach State did have a foul to give that does not send them to the free throw line.
Yeah, don't care.
It obviously wasn't planned, but it doesn't send them to the free throw line. Just the 6th team foul of the half. All right, 3 seconds. Here's a shot from Harrison, and he's fouled by Murray, and that's going to send him to the line for 3.
That cares. I was going to say, you know, that's like telling me that your house burnt down, but you know your Michael Jordan jersey, you know, wasn't ruined, but everything else got burnt. You know, again, it's defensive discipline. It doesn't matter how many fouls are, because what about in the second half when he picks up 2 quick fouls and he's relegated to the bench? You know, again, just thinking, you're thinking like the player.
I'm just bookkeeping here. I'm just letting you know.
and you're doing a good job.
First free throw is good, 2 more coming.
You can see I get a little bit fired up because, first of all, we knew the foul was coming because he was so fatigued. You know, he's out there just, you know, he hit a big shot, expended a lot of energy. But I'll tell you, when I do taxes, I'm definitely going to call Schwartz Incorporated.
1 more free throw coming, 9/10 of a second on the clock here. And then halftime inside the pyramid. Free throw's good. Let's see, does Long Beach State get something off? Roberts into Slater. Slater launches after a
UCLA game, the Hawaii game, the Santa Barbara game, the UC San Diego.
Welcome back, second half underway. Cobb, Mansell, Roberts, Jones, and Slater on the floor for Long Beach State. It's Jones with the first shot of the second half, and he knocks it down. Jadon Jones has 9, second most for Long Beach State tonight.
This is the most poised I've seen Mansell play in a long time. This is what I've been waiting for and expecting. And you can say against a lesser team, that play he just made had nothing to do with the lesser team. He's starting to figure things out.
Here's a 3 on the way from Joshua Jones. He can't hit, but the rebound underneath from Harrison, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
So that's when I talk about habits. Colin Slater on that backside, when the shot went up, you've got to find a jersey, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your man. I call it the closest man theory. You've got to hit first, and you've got to block out, because now he comes out of the game, and he's only been in there for not close to, you know, 20, 30 seconds. As you can see right here, if you block him out, that's an easy rebound, and then you're able to convert and get your offense going.
So 2 free throws here for Harrison, who put up 6 in the first half, and his first free throw is good. Bounced back of the rim, right of the rim, left of the rim, and in.
And what's crazy is those, you put him to the free throw line because he got an offensive putback in the foul, and these are unguardable points. So, I said 25 points or less. Here's 2 right in the books. Well, 1, that he got the easy way.
Missed the second. Beach coming down the floor. Roberts to Murray. Murray into the game quickly here in the second half. Jones for 3. No good. Rebound in Twari. 50-36. Long Beach State leads by 14. 50-36, our score.
This is the end I want to see him get better at in this next, less than 19 minutes.
And that one out of bounds. It'll go back to Long Beach State. Turnover for Westcliff. They turned it over 9 times in the first half.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but any level I coach in college or the NBA, I would chart every 5 possessions defensively on the bench and see if your team could get 3 out of 5 stops, and you do that 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the game.
Roberts, he'll rise with a hand in his face. No good. Rebound to Harrison.
So 2 good looks in those consecutive possessions. Didn't fall for the Beach, but this is where you make your money. This should be your bread and butter on this end. They should dictate everything Westcliff does.
Harrison against Cobb. He rises deep 2. No good. Cobb will get the rebound.
Great contest, and then he chased it down.
Pass to Murray. Murray driving. Bounces back to Roberts. He wasn't there. Harrison coming the other way for the Warriors. All the way to the hoop against Mansell. Nice touch.
Yeah, those are the unforced turnovers that will drive Coach Munson, crazy. Again, dribble drive baseline. Hopefully you're going to shoot it, and you're rolling the dice when you make that pass.
Roberts underneath, double team, fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Almost an and 1 opportunity.
But he's a 5th-year player we talked about, and I've always said it. I root for him because every year there was an injury here, there was something like this, and this is his campaign where you can see the floor, and we finally get to Roberts coming in there. He wasn't able to finish, but he's just one of the guys. It's easy to leave. When things don't go well, what does everybody do? They go into the transfer portal. People get married. What do? Argument here, argument there, they split. I love it that Roberts has stayed the course, and, he's going to be a proud graduate of Long Beach State, and he's had a really nice stay here in the Pyramid.
5-year marriage with the Long Beach State basketball program as Roberts misses the first free throw.
Are you thinking about marriage in the near future?
Always.
Okay, just checking, because I know your fiance is listening.
Let's keep it professional here, Coach. No,
that's very professional. Hey, I'm proud that I'm married 37 years. That's a winning team.
Yes, it is. You got yourself a great teammate for sure.
Don't reach.
Warriors with a basketball.
Like
Harrison.
There's been no penetration right there. Great wall up, great contest.
Murray with a block out of bounds.
That was a good deep, again, stay squared up. Don't let the offensive shoulders of the man with the ball get by yours. Good job by the Beach.
Inbound coming from Harrison. Or make it Adolfo Thomas, beg your pardon. He inbounds to Harrison. He finds Jones, who fakes a three, pulls up in the circle. 2 on the way, no good. Mansell with a good rebound. That's Mansell's first rebound of the game. As Roberts flies in and couldn't finish with one hand. He tried the finger roll and it rolled off the rim.
I thought we were going to see a little George Gerb in there.
3 from Jones on the other end, no good. Jadon Jones the rebound. Up the floor to Cobb. Cobb off the side of the backboard. And a kind of chaotic couple possessions here as Westcliff ends that flurry of action with an and one. Going to the free throw line, Cedric Sobers. Well, the Warriors hanging tough. A chance for Sobers here to make it a 10-point game.
But he's a freshman from Whittier, California, 6'6", a lefty, and he sort of, you watch him play, he reminds me of a Swiss Army knife. There you see him going in, he draws the contact, and Romel, he had the right idea of showing his hands, but he was sort of moving back. It's sort of like when you're in the Army and you have the white flag and you're waving it, you're sort of retreating. I would have liked him, be a little bit more aggressive, get outside the lane, try and take a charge.
Free throw, good. 10-point game, 3 minutes gone by in the second half. Cobb looking down low for Hampton. Hampton
good
lost
cut.
it. Has it back. And then has it. What's the call here? Foul or jump ball? A jump ball.
Jump ball, I believe, yeah. Well, the one thing, and again, my view is a little obscure, but when you catch the ball in the post, I call put the ball between your ear and your chin and get your chicken wings out, because you have that tunnel of verticality. And again, you never want to swing your elbows and be dirty, but you can create space with those chicken wings.
10-point lead for Long Beach State. Warriors with the slim advantage here in the second half. Here's a jumper on the way, good. Joshua Jones, he's got 10. First Westcliff player into double figures. He's clapping his hands on defense, fired up.
Yeah, talk about being a rhythm shooter. You've got to be there on the catch, make him put it on the floor, dribble into a crowd.
Roberts down on the block, posting up. Turning with the right hand, got it. Nice play by J-Rob.
Yeah, he was pushing, he was pazed, he knew he had a little on him, and he was able to use those crab dribbles just to collect himself up and over.
10-point game here. Joshua Jones against Colin Slater. Now Sobers. Joshua Harrison gets a screen from Walter. Roberts hanging tough there defensively. 8 to shoot. Harrison, step back jumper, found it.
Tough shot. Boy, he absorbed the contact, was able to just go up and get a good look.
And now a backcourt violation, and the ball gonna roll out of bounds, and Westcliff's got some momentum. That one though, and Cobb the rebound. Beach with Hampton, Slater, Cobb, Murray, and Roberts on the floor. Slater all the way to the basket. He can't finish, but Hampton's got the rebound. He rises strong, missed it underneath. Sobers. Back to Jones, and Jones called for the offensive foul as Cobb absorbed that one right in the chest.
Well, that's what he does. We talk about him being a captain. He's the glue guy, but he does all the little things, of sacrificing his body. I've said it from day one when he came here as a walk-on. He just has all the characteristics and checks all the boxes of a Munson-type player. Big-time play.
15 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Beach up by 8. They've come out cold in the second half, just 1 for 7.
See, if Hampton's inside, I want to see him post with his lower body. Right there, he's got him on the backside. Well, I didn't like that call.
Foul going on Joe Hampton.
The first time he was posting with his arm, but I actually liked what he was doing. He was using his backside. He had the player on his back. Get him the basketball a little quicker and let him go to work.
Adolfo Thomas out of Long Beach Poly bringing it up the floor. Off to Walter. Now Joshua Jones. He leads Westcliff with 10. Harrison against Slater. Harrison, step back, another tough jumper, and another one he knocks down. And now a steal in the backcourt by Thomas. And wow, no whistle on a lot of contact there. Beach catch a break. Murray for three, trying to answer. Too strong. Rebound Jones. 6-point game. Three on the way. Walter, no good. Line drive shot was short. So we got ourselves a ball game here as Cobb dishes underneath Hampton. Hampton can't finish, it rolls off the rim. Roberts keeps it alive. Roberts up with the right hand. He's going to the line for two.
Well, they've had numerous opportunities, first chance opportunities, to be able to get that basketball with 2 feet in the paint and be able to score.
We mentioned this coming out of the break leading into the second half. Beach were up 13, but we saw Westcliff go on a run in the first half. They had a chance to get back into it, and here they are down by just 6. Long Beach State, one of their last 9. They haven't scored in over 2 minutes. Roberts a chance to end that here from the free throw line.
Well, you can see they're in there, they're battling, they're hitting the offensive glass, and they're not being able to finish these shots, and J-Rob able to get to the free throw line, hopefully to knock down 2.
First one good from Jordan. Roberts into double figures. He's got 10, second player for Long Beach State into double-digit scoring. He follows Colin Slater, who's sitting at 13.
You know, Westcliff just isn't going to lay down and say, okay, well, we're here in the pyramid playing Long Beach State. It's, you know, it's not the Washington Generals. They're going to continue to gain confidence, and the more reactive this defense is on this end of the floor, the more confidence that they're going to get that this is a ball game.
And their head coach Jared Cook talking before the game about the game they played against Cal Poly, where they trailed by just 6 at halftime, ended up losing by 33. Said he was able to teach his team the importance of playing a full game. Well, they're trying to do that right here. As a three's no good. Hampton the rebound, Beach up the floor. Murray, reverse layup, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, I like that aggressive. And
no fear.
Yeah, that's what I talk about. You know, that time there was no double team there. And, you know, that's a good baseline drive. But you talk about, you know, Coach Cook trying to talk about to his team. Well, that's one of the keys we talked about, sustainability and consistency. And, again, that's the one thing that I know that Coach Munson was preaching to this team. Long Beach State has to put 40 minutes together. You can't play a good half at Pauley. You can't play a good first half at USC because it's a 40-minute game. And, you know, the one thing I like about Long Beach State, and Andy Fee really has started this, it's the women's basketball team here. And Coach Cameron, they all got masks on. Jeff Cameron asked me, he said, if you see any of my young ladies without a mask, text me. And I said, I'll take a picture and put it on my Instagram. So, Coach, all of them are safe and sound, and I love it, Jason, that they're here supporting one of the many good teams at Long Beach State.
And Long Beach State women's basketball off to a great start in Jeff Cameron's 5th year. Saw them beat Cal State Bakersfield on New Year's Day in their opener. Unfortunately, their game last night against Fullerton that was supposed to be played here was canceled. But, yeah, the Beach women's team, they've got a chance to win the conference. 9-point lead for the Beach as Joel Murray splits the trip. 56-47 the score. Westcliff with the basketball. Traore into the game for Long Beach State for the first time in the second half. And he makes his presence felt right away.
Well, when you look at it and you're breaking down tape, he gets beat off the dribble drive, and you're like, oh no, something bad is going to happen. And then something great happens using that athleticism and his ability to cover ground. And man, now that one, you don't have to tip it to a teammate, right? That's going on Sports Center, right?
Man, he's trying to swat that thing back home to the Ivory Coast.
Well, he did a good job of it. Love his passion and love for the game defensively. And man, does he cover ground.
Sobers has his shot blocked. Chased down, though, by Cameron Snyder. And Snyder loses it out of bounds. He's fouled by Joel Murray. Snyder did not play in the first half, so we're seeing him out on the floor for the first time.
And I like the energy, but if you look at the shot clock, it bails him out with 1 second left, and then you have a shot clock violation. And again, you can play defense for, 29, 28, 27 seconds, and if you foul, it's all for naught.
Slater trying to tip that inbounds pass away, but Harrison able to keep possession. He works on Roberts, crosses over. Left-hand shot, no good, in and out, but then a whistle and a foul, and I think that's going against the Beach.
It is, and it's just their individual defense just has not been up to par. With Slater trying to tip that, I've always said this to my teams. Coaches don't want steals. They want stops. You know, you make the great play, it's good. You know, that time it didn't hurt them right away. But again, it's the dribble drive down the lane. They've got to wall off Westcliff because they're having their way off the dribble drive. And if you get beat, somebody's got to help you. It should be 5 defenders on a string. And when I move, you move.
That foul on Traore, his second. One Beach player with 3 fouls. That's Joe Hampton. Meanwhile, Joshua Jones for Westcliff, he's in foul trouble. He's sitting at 4 fouls, so he doesn't have any room for error there. As Harrison makes the second free throw, he got the roll. And it's a 7-point game, 56-49. And now a foul going against Westcliff on the other end.
That's one of the first times that the Beach has really done a nice job just pushing it up. I mean, that was 2-3 seconds. And again, they didn't get the basket, but they were able to, you know, create the foul, and that helps to get them shooting into the bonus. But I like that. That was a quick attack.
Long Beach State still just 1 for their last 9, down to 44% for the game. As Roberts loses it off his leg, it's out of bounds and back to Westcliff. And that puts Long Beach State at 12 turnovers for the game. That's a -1 differential. Westcliff's turned it over 11 times.
Yeah, I like the set that they ran with the back pick, but again, you're trying to run that to get a nice, easy basket, 2 feet in the paint for an easy deuce.
56-49, 7-point Beach lead, 12:43 to play. Thomas had it poked away. Murray's got it. Fast break, 1 man to beat. Bounces back for Hampton, who puts it in.
So you notice how I talked about Joe being fatigued? I mean, in-shape Joe, that's a backboard breaker. And you saw he just not struggled, but he barely got it over the rim. So it's good that they're playing through this fatigue and getting some game burn.
And remember, Joe Hampton, you said Long Beach State hasn't played since December 12th at USC. Hampton didn't play in that game.
Right, I think his last game may have been December 4th. I don't have stats in front of me, but again, this is good for him to get out and just get the rust off and get back into game shape.
Meanwhile, Adolfo Thomas going to the free throw line for the first time. 4 points for the Long Beach Poly product. 3 assists for Thomas. And the first free throw from him up and well short. Crowd liked that one. Was that an air ball? I thought that hit the very front of the rim. What'd you see?
I was watching his legs. You know, again, I'm looking to see if he's shooting the ball there. You know, again, that's just fatigue with Big Joe. But, you know, with Thomas's free throw, it's a great teaching moment. You shoot the ball with your legs, you know, and I didn't see him bend and extend. You want to bend your knees, sort of like an elevator going down to the basement, and then you want to finish on your toes, putting your hand in the rim with a good follow-through or a gooseneck.
Officials going to the monitor here for a moment, so we've got a brief delay as everybody's still waiting around the key to see Thomas attempt his second free throw. There's a look again at the Long Beach State women's basketball team. And we saw on the first, the men's team came back from Bakersfield. They showed up there. They stayed the night, actually spent New Year's Eve in Bakersfield, weren't able to play, came back, and they were in that exact same spot watching the women's team play their Big West opener.
Hey, listen, if you're cool and you got swag, that's the place to be in the pyramid.
Both free throws from Thomas, no good. And the Beach with a chance to go up by double digits again. Traore bounces for Slater. He'll try a 3 on the way. No good. Traore keeping it alive. Jones unable to save it, though. It's out of bounds and back to Westcliff.
I like that effort. You know, you come with computers, you come with tablets, you've got 2 phones working here. I've called you an encyclopedia in Gucci's. Do you have a stick, a mic stick, that I can go over there and sit with the gals and call the game from over there?
I think that's a question for Alex back in the truck.
All right, we're going to work on that because I want to be one of the cool kids on the block. Nice.
Now for Westcliff with 4 fouls. Here's Murray spinning, lost it, and then fouls Joshua Harrison. And that foul on Murray, his 3rd, and the 7th, making the 8th team foul for Long Beach State. So we didn't see them commit their 7th team foul until the literal last second of the first half, and they've committed 8 now here in the first 9 minutes of the second half.
What all goes in my thought process, Jason, of defense. And again, defend without fouling, doing all the little things, having the defensive discipline to, not allow your man to have a straight line drive. And if he does, because it's going to happen, who's going to, help, and who's going to help the helper, who's going to crack back. And then it's all culminated with the block out. It's been a loosey-goosey. They've had great spurts of it, but Coach Munson wants consistency and sustainability.
Front end of the 1-and-1 for Joshua Harrison, good. Harrison with 16. He's leading all scorers in this game now, and he's really come on strong in the second half. Harrison with 10 of his 16 points in the second half. Second free throw good, makes them both.
And with that, they only need 8 more points to hit my goal of 60. So that will be a goal that the Beach was not able to obtain.
Jadon too strong on the 3. Roberts the rebound, looking for room underneath. Finds Cobb at the free throw line. To Traore, almost fell over. Now Slater drives, short jumper, and he gets fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, I like the escape dribble, and again, the spacing on that wasn't perfect. It was sort of like hot potato. You got it, I'm gonna get rid of it. But Slater was obviously didn't want to pull up, didn't feel that was his shot. And you can see the kick out. He's got the nice little pump fake, and he's able to pull up in that short corner just a little bit shy, but was able to draw the foul.
Yeah, it looks like we've got an injured Westcliff player as Marion Ntwari is down on the baseline, and he's in a lot of pain.
11, no doubt about it.
Once had a women's basketball player tell me she was probably about 6'1". She said, for basketball, I'm 6'3". For everything else, I'm 5'11".
I love it.
Slater good on the first free throw, so we're back and roll in, even though Ntwari is not quite ready to get up and get back to the bench yet.
Well, I hope he's okay. I hope it's nothing serious.
Second free throw from Colin Slater, who just picked up his first point of the second half, and that one good. So he has a perfect trip at the line. Slater now has 15 points. He's 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And Long Beach State up by 8 points, 11:15 to go. Long break there, chance for both these teams to catch a breath as we see a foul going against Jordan Roberts, which will send Westcliff to the line. And actually, I think they got Traore for that foul. That's his third. And free throws coming again for Cedric Sobers.
Again, that's your help side defense. You're on the other side of the floor. You shouldn't be hugging your man. It may not be your man, but when the ball moves, you've got to move and you've got to adjust. And, you want to get someone on that baseline outside the lane and 1 foot on the sideline, 1 foot out to stop the ball or have them dribble it out. Or the third thing, draw the charge.
Sobers free throw, no good, as we saw the replay there for a moment. And Long Beach State up by 7. Drew Cobb going to the hoop, and he finishes. He'll go to the line.
Really nice right-hand drive. He was able to play through the contact. He kept his chin on the rim and was able to find the block up there on the glass for an easy deuce and hopefully for an old-fashioned three-point play. We can see here, nice little crossover. He gets downhill, and that's when Long Beach State, whether it's Cobb or any of the other guards, or for that matter the bigs, when they can get downhill, they're hard to guard.
And any offense from Drew Cobb is always a plus, is always a cherry on top. You see that basket was his first of the game, but you move down the stat sheet, 7 rebounds and 3 assists in this one for Cobb.
Well, if you ever want to go fishing out in the Pacific and you want to catch some shark, bring Cobb with you because the sharks can smell it. It's sort of that chum that you put out there to attract all those fish. Well, Cobb smells blood. There's not a guy in this gym or maybe in the city of Long Beach that I would want to be in a foxhole. It'd be Drew Cobb. I just like everything he stands for as a player and as a man. A stand-up guy.
Hits the free throw, and that makes it a 10-point Beach lead. 63-53, 11 minutes to go. Westcliff basketball as Harrison brings it up. Joshua Jones, by the way, back into the game playing with 4 fouls. He has it here. He drives, and he gets fouled. And he'll go to the line for 1-and-1. Actually, no, I think that's going to be the 10th team foul on Long Beach State, so Westcliff's going to be shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way.
Well, I like the initial defense, but again, when Slater just stood up, and it just takes a half an inch. As soon as you see that, that's when you get put in a position to have the foul called against you. You've got to beat them to the spot with that defensive slide.
Jones knocks down the first, second one coming. He's got 11 points. 16 out of 22 for Westcliff from the free throw line in this one. And that one in and out. Roberts has the rebound. 4 rebounds for Jordan Roberts. Traore against Jones to Slater, weaving through traffic, out to Cobb. He'll try a 3, no good. And Jones chases down the rebound for Westcliff.
Like the look, love the screen by Jadon Jones. That was part of that play. Good job.
Snyder fakes a 3, he drives. Shot blocked, Jadon Jones. Roberts has it, looking for help. Up the floor to Jones. Now Slater, he'll rise for 3 from the corner. Swishes it through.
That was at the basket right there with 10 minutes to go. That can energize this team on this defensive end of the floor. I want to see consecutive stops and then consecutive pushes. That's what creates separation.
Back to an even second half now as Long Beach State leads by 13. Here's a shot from Harrison. Tough one, no good. And then got a whistle.
Little flop warning I think he's going to call.
Going against Harrison of Westcliff. Now Westcliff's gone cold. No field goals in almost 5 minutes now. 0 for their last 6. Meanwhile for Slater, that 3 gave him a game-high 18. 66-53. Long Beach State's largest lead of the game, 15. It was 48-33 at one point in the first half. Slater fakes the 3. Step back. He'll fire it up and gets it again. Love when Colin gets confident.
Boy, and I'll tell you, if you watch the rotation of that ball that comes off those first 2 fingers, and you can just see that backspin, what a pretty looking shot.
Getting warmed up for Pauly tomorrow. He's 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 21 points, leading all scorers in this one. Slater with a legit chance, 30 points in this game. Here's Harrison, tough 3, no good. Traore stretches back to grab the rebound. Slater again, deep 3, again. He got it. 24 for Slater. 3 straight threes.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get a timeout if I'm Jared Cook or go to a go-to play.
72-54. Long Beach State's largest lead of the game, up 18.
Important to get a stop right here and let them know.
Offensive rebound for Harrison. Out to Thomas, he bowls over Roberts, puts up a shot, gets fouled, and Roberts can't believe that. Thomas's second free throw, good. Well, last trip to the line, Thomas didn't look so good shooting 2. This time he knocks them both down, and then one fan behind us just yelled air ball, and after Thomas hit that second free throw, gave him a good stare as he walked to the back of the bench.
Whew, I thought he was looking at me. I didn't say it, she said it.
Meanwhile, we have a Westcliff player into the game that is not listed on the roster. Number 20 in for the Warriors.
Well, how are you going to call his name if he scores?
We'll just call him Warriors because that's what he's got on the back of his jersey. Warriors with a basketball. Here's a 3 on the way, no good. And the rebound to Harrison. And then he loses. 8 minutes left in this one, 71-56, Long Beach State. Leading Westcliff as Joel Murray trips, keeps possession, puts one up in the paint, gets it to fall. Joel Murray with 8.
Well, this is good to see Murray out here again, coming out of safety and health protocols, being able to get a nice little run in tonight.
17-point Beach lead matches their largest of the game. There's Joshua Harrison to Joshua Jones. He loses it. Murray's got it on the fast break. One man to beat against Harrison. He lays it in.
I like the layup by Murray, heads up play, but it was Joe Hampton's defense that forced the turnover again. Little things, play games within the games, try and get better, work on your deficiencies.
Murray, Hampton, Cobb, Mansell, and Jadon Jones on the floor for Long Beach State.
Don't reach, play team defense. Keep them in front, limit any penetration by the dribble or the pass.
Harrison, step back, 3 on the way, well short. Rebound underneath Joshua Jones, and it's called for a double dribble.
And while I'm grading that, you can say good, 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 and then they give up an offensive rebound, it's bad.
Well, they have one player listed on their roster, Westcliff, without a number. That's Samuel Marqueta, and that might be the player on the floor, number 20. Again, they don't have a 20 listed on their roster. Colin Slater, back to Jones, down to Mansell, underneath Hampton. Puts it up, doesn't get the roll, but Hampton's going to the line.
Disappointed that Hampton wasn't able to finish that, but Mansell has really shown some poise in the first half and the second half. Quite frankly, I haven't seen him make passes like that. He's catching it, he's collecting himself, and what was key about that big-to-big pass, he threw it away from the defense. You know, mostly guys will just chuck it in there, it gets deflected and whatnot. He threw it to the target hand. That's a really good pass.
How big is a healthy and confident Mansell for this Long Beach State team in the conference play?
Well, it just, like I said, when you look at teams like Fullerton, they go with two bigs the traditional way. You know, a lot of people are playing 4 guards and a big, but when you have 2 bigs that can work together, you can dominate offensively, but more importantly, defensively. That's your rim protection for, you know, not just blocking shots, but altering shots and cleaning up all the miscues. That's what good team defense is about.
Slater got a hand on it, but the Warriors keep it. I think it's Marqueta. Nice play there. And yep, they announced him, Samuel Marqueta, with the layup there. He gets on the board.
I'm glad you got that right, because his parents would have been mad if you messed up the name.
I would have been mad. 3 in the key against Long Beach State, back to Westcliff.
That's okay. As a coach, I'll take that, because that's a big 2 feet in the paint, you know, trying to get the basketball inside.
All right, so Marqueta brings it up the floor, native of Anchorage, Alaska.
But now that you know who it is, you're really flowing with him, partner.
I had all my Marqueta prep ready to go, just didn't have a number. Here's Rodegard. Up ahead to Murray. Murray almost walked with it. Underneath Hampton, and Rodegard, he telegraphed that one.
Well, not only telegraphed it, it was opposite of Mansell. He threw it to the defense. You have to throw it away from the defense.
Hampton had it poked away. Now, we've seen Hampton struggle a little bit to finish inside in this one.
Yeah, and again, it's easy to say fatigue, but that's me as an announcer. If I'm at a coach, no way. You got to grab that basketball with 2 hands, and you got to dunk it. And you remember I used this with you a couple games ago. You got to dunk it like the rim stole your lunch money. And I know no one's ever stolen your lunch money.
Hampton can't finish, but he's going to the line. I used to bring my own lunches to school.
I know,
Packed
you already
lunches,
told me.
brown bag.
You already told me that. And I could guess it was peanut butter and jelly and maybe some rice pudding.
No rice, I'm not a rice pudding guy. But definitely a chocolate pudding or a Jell-O for sure.
What was your favorite candy back there that your mom would put in that lunch pail?
Favorite no candy really. Healthy lunches.
Oh,
and it was Dad, actually. Got to give Dad the credit for the lunch.
Well, I know he's listening, because when I talked about marriage and I said fiance, I think he was the text that came through that said, "You're engaged?"
Too much. All right, 5:16 to go in this one. Long Beach State leading by 21.
I thought you were going to plug a Southwest Airlines commercial in there. Want to get away?
Maybe I do. Got 5 minutes before I can go anywhere. 19-point Beach lead. Murray down low to Hampton. And out of bounds, it'll stay with the Beach, 20 to shoot. So we see the Beach with 4 players in double figures scoring. Slater has 23, Hampton and Roberts each with 11. Joel Murray's got 10. On the other side for Westcliff, Harrison 17, Jones 11. And they haven't done much since you mentioned keep it out of the hands of anybody named Joshua if you're in the Long Beach State defense. But Harrison's got it right here. No look to Joshua Jones. That pass a little too strong. And Long Beach State comes up with it. Here's Rodegaard, top of the key, 3, no good.
I would have liked to seen that just go through the net. He just needs confidence. You know, once you hit that first one, the rim gets a little bigger each attempt.
Westcliff unable to answer. Long Beach has made 5 out of their last 6, but without a field goal in over 2.5 minutes. Mansell has it, 4 minutes to play. 19-point Beach lead, Hampton now. Underneath Murray. Murray, head fake. Snyder to get it in. Here's Marqueta, guarded by Murray, 8 to shoot for Westcliff. Bounces it, intended for Walter, it's kicked. 5 to shoot, shot clock now resets to 20. And here comes Jeffrey Yan into the game for Romel Mansell. Always good to see Jeffrey get into a ball game.
Really represents not only the Long Beach State basketball team well, but the university. Talking about just a good guy and willing to do anything for his team on and off the court.
It's a drive from Joshua Jones, and he's able to put one in. First time in a while we've called his name. And Jeffrey Yan playing in his 6th game this season. Tobias Rodegaard over to Joel Murray. Just over 3 minutes to play again tomorrow. Long Beach State goes to Pauley Pavilion. They take on UCLA for the 2nd time this season as Murray saves that high pass from going out of bounds. Murray, tough shot, in and out. Rebound to Marqueta. He gets it up the floor, right to Rodegaard. Game tomorrow, 4:30 on the Pac-12 network. And again, Long Beach State last time at Pauley Pavilion taking on the then #2 Bruins. Long Beach State was down by 3 at halftime, ended up losing 100-79. UCLA right now ranked #5. Eddie Scott off the glass, his first basket.
Well, there's timeout right now by Munson just to get some substitutions in. But I like right there, 2 times down the floor, just running a nice little half-court continuity with some good action. And again, working on it against another team, a team that doesn't know that it's coming. Some nice little cuts and some screens.
RJ and AJ into the game for the Beach. Roden and Neal as Hampton and Jones go to the bench. Marqueta into the front court for Westcliff. Pass to Snyder, guarded by Neal. Here's a 3 on the way from Jones, no good. Neal the rebound, up the floor he comes. Beach up by 22. Roden, he'll fire up a 3, got it. RJ Roden with his first basket of the game. Beach up 25 and making this one look a lot more like a laugher than it actually was. Again, Westcliff came out strong in the second half and cut Long Beach State's lead to 6 at one point here in the second half. Snyder for 3. No good, but the rebound to Westcliff. A whistle and a foul going against Eddie Scott of Long Beach State, sending Westcliff to the free throw line. Nolan Wedlow is going to shoot 2. Well, we hope to be with you for 1, maybe 2 games on Saturday. If all things go well, Long Beach State will play at 1 o'clock here at the Walter Pyramid, hosting Hawaii on Saturday afternoon. That game time changed to 1 o'clock. Wedlow's second free throw good. (87-64). Roden just hit a 3, gets it back to Neal. Now Scott. Roden driving and fouled by Wedlow. Roden going to go to the free throw line. Both teams in the double bonus here with just over a minute to play.
I like the way he shows his versatility. You know, a couple possessions ago was able to pull up, had really nice looking form on that 3-ball. And this time, like I've mentioned numerous times during this game, Long Beach State players that can get downhill and make something happen, whether it's a made basket, a dish off to somebody after help comes, or drawing the foul.
Roden's free throw is no good. He'll get another.
Like to see him bend his legs more. Shoot the ball with your legs. We talked about it earlier on in this second half. You know, you got to bend, you got to extend, you got to put your hand in the rim and finish on your toes. Good looking gooseneck right there on the snapping of the wrist with the follow through.
So 1:08 to go. Marqueta to Snyder. Snyder 3, no good. Rebound poke. Yan's got it, battling for it, wins the battle. Under a minute to play. Let's see if Yan can put one in. Yan posting up, turns in the paint, muscles one up, and he got it. Jeffrey Yan, add him to the score sheet.
I don't know if I was ever wishing for a shot attempted to make more than that one right there.
That's his first made field goal of the season. All 5 of his points this year have come from the free throw line. He's now 1 of 2 from the floor. And then an offensive foul on the other end against Joshua Jones. And that fouls Joshua Jones out of this game, his 5th. 90-64 Long Beach State.
What's always nice, and again, you know, I didn't think that it was going to be this low. My goal was 60 points, you know, and they're at 64, so we'll see if they can hold them at 64. That was close to the goal of not letting Westcliff score over 60. But it's nice to see guys that get in now and make some good plays.
A dark shot clock here, so Long Beach State can dribble it out. But let's see if Jeff Yan wants another basket. And hold the phone. He's called for a travel. Should have settled for the 1.
No, go for it, Jeffrey, except he just had a little Texas two-step in there.
So 10 seconds to go. Marqueta brings it up for Westcliff. See if they get one final shot off. Marqueta, he'll step back, 3, no good. Yan the rebound, he tucks it away, and Long Beach